Hey everyone, Coach Patrick here from Marathon Nation, and welcome to our Beginner Marathon email series. In this seminar, I'll be sending you an email every couple days with a video breakdown on basically some of the major concepts around being a first-time marathoner. Most importantly, I want to say to you, congratulations on making the leap to running a marathon. It's a huge both mental and physical commitment, but the outcome, the transformations you'll see in your fitness and your attitude towards running when done right, will leave you never the same. Once you've crossed that marathon finish line, you'll join the tens of thousands of people who have, and you'll most likely become, hard to believe it, but you most likely will become a little bit excited and perhaps want to go out there and do a better job. Now, of course, there's a lot of things that are going to happen between now, where you are right now, and race day, and some of them are good and some of them are not. I'm going to cover all those different items in the different seminar topics that I'll be sending out to you via email. If you do have other questions for me, though, you can always head over to marathonnation.us, create a free trial. You can find us on Facebook.com. You can also find us on Twitter at twitter.com/marathonnation. Shoot your questions in. I'm happy to answer them, get you up to speed. We've done most of the races through all the people here on the teams who have experience on the courses. And at the end of the day, we want to make your first marathon experience as solid as possible. Now, that said, there's going to be some hiccups that come up on the way. And you can't get yourself down. But one of the best ways to deal with all those potential issues is to have a good foundation in place. And that brings me to the topic of today's email, in this first seminar, which is I'm calling tentatively Couch to Marathon Training Prerequisites. So one day you woke up, whether it was a friend or your own motivation, something caused you to go ahead and sign up for that marathon. So now you're locked in, you got a date on the calendar to work towards, and you're excited. There's a lot of different things you need to think about in terms of your training, and what people typically get into is saying, well, what kind of program should I pick? This program has me running 3 days a week, this program has me running this long, this program is local to me, this program is far away. All of that doesn't really matter as much as what you can do right now to get ready to train. Okay, there's a difference between training for a marathon and then just training to be fit. And before you can start your marathon training, you really need to have a basic level of fitness. That basic level of fitness can be defined in multiple ways. But in the case of thinking about a marathon, minimum training time you can use to get ready for a marathon is about 12 weeks or 3 months. So if you sign up for a race that is more than 3 months away, you have the luxury of building some fitness that you can then take and put into your actual marathon training peak, if you will, or build phase. Okay? So those training prerequisites, what does it mean to have training prerequisites? You're saying, I'm on the couch, I don't do anything, and now I'm doing a marathon. I just should start training for my marathon right now, right? Wrong. Don't start training for your marathon if you're more than 3 months away. It's very easy to get your head wrapped around this race date, start putting your feet on the floor, doing crazy workouts, getting up early in the morning, really kind of pushing yourself when that fitness, that work that you're doing isn't really going to prepare you for the race. It's just preparing you to train the race. So take a little bit more of a laid-back attitude, give yourself a bit of a break, and instead of getting spun up about the longest run in your schedule, which is going to happen 4 weeks out from your race, which is 15 weeks away from where you are today, instead spend your time getting in some of the prerequisites. Those are very simple. We want to have you running 3 to 4 times a week. I don't really care whether you're running 30 minutes or an hour in each one of those runs. I just want to make sure you're able to run 3 to 4 times a week. Ideally, one of those runs is on kind of a rolling terrain or a hillier course, and you're a pretty healthy person. We're not looking again for you to have any sort of performance goals in this area. Just want you to be active. Okay. Other training prerequisite is that you have some good shoes dialed in. So use this early training time to make sure that you've got a good pair of shoes that agree with your feet like them. You can put some miles in on them safely, and they're relatively new. Odds are you'll need to buy another pair before race day, so keep that in the back of your mind. But shoes are a critical part of your training experience, and you want to make sure that's all dialed in. Another key prerequisite is having fun and getting other people involved in your training. So the easiest way to do that is to sign up for some other shorter intermediate races. And I'll talk more about a season in a later video. But don't be afraid to involve other people in your marathon quest. People love the marathon. People want to support you in this change you're making in your life. Give them an opportunity to do so, whether it's an easy run once a week or a special weekend run with the family or whatever it is. But do your best to incorporate those elements that are going to allow the people who are supporting you to have that much of an easier time and to really sort of make your training that much more real and I think ultimately sustainable over the long term. Okay, so those are the big 3 prerequisites that I think about before people get into a proper marathon training plan. There's a couple of things we can get into more details about, which I'll talk about in the next couple seminars. But the number one most important thing is that you're running 3 to 4 times a week, getting in some consistent work and some good rest, and you feel okay about your fitness. You feel good about undertaking the marathon, knowing you've got a lot of work to do, but you're not totally behind the 8 ball. But don't start training right now looking at that race if it's more than 3 months away. It's simply too far, and you're going to set yourself up for something that's simply not sustainable and potentially could be worse for you in the long haul because you start cooking yourself now to be ready for that race, which is too far away. All right? Hopefully that helps. This is Coach Patrick signing off from Marathon Nation with our Couch to Marathon training prerequisites. Make sure that you're fit, make sure you got the right equipment, and make sure you're having fun. You can do those 3 things, you'll be ready to go on race day. Thanks again for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next installment, the second installment of our Beginner Marathoner email series. Take care, folks.